Amiga presents a Playtime video review. Sit back and enjoy the show.
Hi, welcome to another Lemon Amiga game guide review. This time we're taking a look at the 1993 game Superfrog, developed by Team 17 under Martin Brown, of course. And Superfrog is a scrolling platform game in the Mario or Sonic the Hedgehog theme. And so let's dive into the game and check it out. The player starts in the woods, typical to many platform games, and the object is to find the exit. There are 4 stages in this world, and there are 7 worlds in the game. All the player has to do is to navigate the level, collect all the items, and dispose of the enemies. The player will also find several tokens, such as restart points, and the green spud there, bottles of Lucozade will top up the player's energy. And on this section we'll find a pair of wings which enable us to fly like this across to distant platforms. You'll also find speed up tokens, slow down tokens, restart points, and many different fruits to pick up for bonus points. And in order to complete the level, the player must collect a number of coins, and the number of which is stated in the bottom corner. All the player has to do is to find those coins and to collect the quota in order to unlock the exit gate. And in this case we still have 33 coins left to find. Another special feature about Superfrog are the sheer number of bonus sections available in the game. Just by hitting certain parts of the landscape we can find tunnels which lead to coins and bonus fruits of all shapes and sizes, so it's well worth touching walls and scenery to try and trigger those bonus areas. And here we go, this is the end of level 1 more or less. Just climb these trees, and there'll also be hidden coin caches as well. On this level 1 there are coins in the mushroom, and we'll be showing you later on the different hidden coin caches in the game. There are always many more coins on the level than is necessary to pick up. On this section we need to be careful because picking up the speed up token will career us headlong into those spikes, and the game does like to do that occasionally, just to keep the player on their toes. The player will not find an easy ride in Superfrog. There are always spikes and enemies waiting to sap the energy away. Luckily we can pick up the Lucozade to increase our energy bars up to 4. There are a maximum of 4 energy bars available. You can just about see on the top of the screen marked in orange, and collecting the Lucozade will bring those up to the top. So that's the first level completed, and on to level 2. There are 4 levels per world, as I say. The first level will be short and relatively easy on any world, and they will get relatively harder, with the 4th level of the world being the hardest, and then returning to the easy ones again for the next world. So this game always gives the player a break. They will find many difficult levels later on, but as soon as they reach a new world they will find progress is made much easier. Some of the enemies you must kill by jumping on their heads, Some of these flying objects can be killed by pressing the fire button, and that triggers the flying spud to fire off in their general direction. You can fire this diagonally or straight up or straight across, and that's enough to get rid of the bees. And again, hitting those walls will trigger off certain bonus sections, and I noticed there was an extra pair of wings in there. Sometimes it's best to leave wings and spuds just in case you die and have to collect those again, because as soon as you die, any wings, spuds or any bonuses that you've managed to pick up will be removed, and you'll have to pick those up again. There are no guns in this game. Everything revolves around those simple mechanics, and some enemies can't be killed, like the hedgehog on this level, so it's always best to watch out for those. Usually the larger enemies can't be killed and the smaller enemies can, so it's always worth cleaning out the level just in case you have to backtrack. And another good feature about Superfrog is you can always backtrack all the way back to the beginning of the level should you need to pick up those bonus coins. On some levels you'll need to pick up all the coins that you can find. On some you will even have to go to the lengths of finding the hidden coins in the various bonus sections to complete the level. This red pill gives us invulnerability for a number of seconds, maybe 10 seconds or so, and that means we should be able to get through most enemies. Not spikes, unfortunately, but the enemies should be a doddle with that. And I can also jump on top of enemies, such as those bees, and with the invulnerability that makes doing that much easier, but unfortunately that can lead to energy loss if you miss those targets. So let's get rid of these blue meanies, whatever they are, collect the last few fruits and continue on to a fast section. Here we must avoid the spikes, but picking up those green pills will speed the character up at twice the speed, and again, watching those spikes and those bees. The game never gives you anything for free. If it gives you speed up tokens like that, you can guarantee that the game will try and run you into spikes or enemies, so always be on your toes in this game. And let's clear up those last few enemies on the way to the exit, trying to get those last 5 coins there to complete the quota, get rid of the enemies while the invulnerability lasts, and that magic noise means we can now exit the level. Any more bonuses after this will be a bonus, and it always gives you plenty of extra coins, as I say, just in case you can't find those hidden bonuses. It should give you enough coins, particularly at this stage, to meet the quota. So let's avoid any further damage and find the tree stump which marks the exit, avoiding that hedgehog, nothing much you can do about those, and collect the bees. So when you manage to complete each level, it will give you a choice to collect the bonus or to gamble that bonus away, and the gambling section comes in the form of this slot machine. All the player has to do is press start and see what they get. The prizes are listed on the top of the machine, which include getting a level code, which helps the player to skip levels, which is always handy. And this is a high-low feature. The player has to press gamble when the lights are lit to advance up the table. And let's try that again. The 50 is flashing, so let's hit that, which lights to 75, but I missed it. Get a free repeat there, so let's try that again. Let's try to hit it when the 50's lit, and the 75, and the extra life, no, I missed it again, and down to 30. Well, that's gambling for you, nothing comes for free. So let's see, I've got a number of tokens left, and let's see if I can increase my total. As I say, there are level codes, extra lives, double score, and score increasing bonuses to be gained on these levels. And the play isn't just limited to those ascending bonuses there. If the machine manages to spit out this combination, they will get the high-low feature, where the player has to guess when the next number will be higher or lower than the preceding one. And a 9, so the next number should be lower. And that's a 2, so that should be higher. So it's just like play your cards right, basically, without Brucey. 4 higher than that. I'll go for lower than an 8. And oh, lose, I got a 9. Well, that's pathetic. So nothing from the gambling section. On to the next level now of the first world. And I'm going to speed this game up now to play the rest of the levels through. This playthrough took maybe an hour and 40, maybe an hour and 50 to complete. So we won't sit here for that amount of time. I'll just speed through to the interesting parts. Hidden walls, again, it's better to touch all the walls just to see if there are any hidden parts. And if at first you don't succeed, keep moving around the level and you'll find not that many dead ends, to be honest. If you find a dead end such as this, then that gives away the fact that this is a hidden bonus section only, which is worth finding for the coins. And if we continue climbing up there, we'll find the exit. There's no point at this stage since we don't have the coins to make it, so we'll continue around the level, and I'm sure there must be a hidden bonus up here for a few more coins. Yes, there it is. There are plenty of Lucozade bottles scattered around to top up players' health. Unfortunately, if the player dies any number of times, then they will find that they've already picked up those bottles, and that makes the game harder because now you don't have the spuds to pick up, the wings to pick up, and the bottles. So it reaches a stage later on in the game, if the player has died maybe 3 times and picked up all those pickups previously, they will find going gets much tougher rather than easier on the replays. But that's just a feature of the game. Let's just pick up these, and on this section, if I can only reach it, there are some hidden coins in those clouds there. They require wing maneuverability to get on, but you'll find a number of coins in this cloud which should exit the level for us. So avoiding the last few spikes, let's see if we can find that exit. So yeah, well worth finding those sections. Let's get all those extra coins, and which basically takes us all the way back to the beginning, which is helpful because this is the exit. We won't choose to gamble those prizes away and collect that score for an extra bonus. And on the start of every level, the player will have to collect those bonuses, the spuds, the wings, etc. So at the beginning of most levels, the level will provide those for you. I'm avoiding that Lucozade at this stage, just in case I should run into trouble later on. But pick that one up. And some of these enemies, you can move so quickly in this game that it can be easy to trip over enemies. But the player can be lucky and take those out pretty quickly. On this 4th level of the first world, the player will have to loop around a number of times, which the previous level introduced the character to. So by now you will be used to looping all over the map. And what do we find? Well, the usual array of enemies don't change, and the level design doesn't really change. Apart from on this level we get the appearance of plants which spit out deadly poison, so it's important to avoid those, particularly if you pick up any speed icons which sends you headlong into those things. 37 coins to find, so this must be the longest of the level. The plant got me again and again. It can be so easy, those things. Avoid the flying objects like the planes and fly over to the end part of this section and collect those hidden bonuses. Climb up there and go all the way around, more or less back to the start again. But by this time you will have picked up the last few coins to trigger the exit. One more to find. Oh, there's a load of coins up there. Let's just fly over and get those and land on the cloud. So that brings us all the way back to the start again. So hence leaving bottles of Lucozade lying around just in case you should need those. They might give you some points, some score on collection, so I would advise picking up all the bonuses you can on these levels. At the risk of wasting time, the player will get an extra bonus for here it is. The player will get an extra bonus for their time and for the bonus they've picked up, and the coin quarter as well. And onto the second world. The second world takes place in a haunted castle, and on this section we may find bats and all kinds of creatures. By triggering the photo frame on this level, we'll find all the hidden bonus coins that we need, and we are introduced to triggering points. Those levers there can be pulled to open secret doors. So on this section we must trigger there it is, the bonus sections there for much higher score. If we can just get that last coin, always worth picking up, and that was a bonus life which puts us up there. So let's just loop around that section again just to show you. If you open this section, you can get the Lucasade. This section opens up the last few bonuses, so it's worth looping around there to get those. And then avoid all the spitting firepower emanating from the walls, so that's another thing. And hit the photo frame again. The slime on the floor makes life difficult. Try and knock those things out, because if you jump you hit the spike. Oh dear. And there's also flailing spikes dotted around which will carve the player into two pieces. Avoid those spikes there. And on this section, if you get rid of those bats and collect the extra coins, it's well worth jumping over that final bat, because that gives us another bonus section. And now let's bounce around the rest of the level and return hopefully to the exit. On to the next level. And on this one you'll find the hidden coins are hidden in the chains there, whatever they are, and you can go to the right to get the extras there, or you can go to the left and get the bonuses on this section. It doesn't really matter, all roads lead to China, so it's up to you, but I'd definitely recommend exploring every wall on levels like this so that you can pick up all these hidden sections. And that's the exit. We don't want to hit that right at this moment, even though we've got the exit number of coins. I'll have to show you the rest of the level. So that's the first door open there with the lever, and we'll have to find a number of more levers to complete this level legitimately without skipping through. And if you miss that section there, that will send you all the way back to instant death. So at this stage the game introduces you to instant death sections there, so if you should miss, the floor will open and swallow you up, and it's important to memorize where those are. So avoid the spikes, collect those things, and avoid the ghosts as well. And here we find the second lever, and don't hit those buffers, you'll die. The second lever should open the second doorway, which shouldn't be too far from here. Oh, hit the ghost there and onto the spikes. That's not a good thing to do, to put it mildly. Check the wall there for a cut through, you never know. And timing is critical in this game, as you can see. Many things require very intricate timing, and it helps to know the levels, of course, but jumping through these blasts of whatever they are, firepower coming out of these traps, is definitely a matter of timing, as are the spikes. So there you go, that's the end of the level. On to the third one, and nothing in there, nothing in there, nothing in there. So that means there should be another hidden trap to discover those hidden bonus coins. So let's just get those through and bounce across. Oh, pits of death. Have to watch those. And let's try that again. Oh, so easy to slip. And if those platforms dissolve under your feet, you'll find instant death. That's not appreciative. So this being the third level, this is also the third hardest level on this section. So you'll find A, the level will send you careering all over itself, and B, it will not be easy. And as you can see, so let's avoid and time those spikes. If you should hit those. Look at this, it's like a pinball machine. Hit the first trap. And so this game can be really fast, certainly up to the Sonic speeds, and on certain sections of the game, maybe without the 360 rotating loops, but apart from that, one death will send you down into spikes. So just like Sonic, it's just as hard. And hit that bonus trigger there for another pinball section to collect all these extra coins. I'll be showing you all these hidden sections, or at least all the ones that I've found in this game. This one leads to another. Once you've found one, you've found another. So that sends you all the way back again. And then up to this section. Avoid those spikes, avoid that. Tricky timing, and failed. Use the invulnerability to get past that. Use the pinball to get all the way back up there, and only onto the first switch again. So avoid that. Oh no, I don't believe it, I've missed it again, and that sends us all the way around the level. So this level can be quite tricky, particularly if the player doesn't hit that section correctly and falls down the pit of death. Those pits can be infuriating, particularly after going round the level any number of times and going all the way back there. Let's see if I can make it this time. Don't hit the bat, thank you. Hit the third switch, and there must be a hidden wall there, but I'm not managing to find that since I've died. And the combination of characters, bats and slime, or spikes, and oh, there you go, another hidden bonus section. Combinations of characters will spell your doom a number of times, so it can be helpful to take your time going around those levels. Not that it is possible with slime and speed up tokens and traps, which send you more or less all the way back to the beginning of the game. It would be really helpful to get rid of that bat, but that's not particularly easy. So as you can see, this game really does sap the lives if you are unfortunate. Even if you know the level, it can be so easy to slip up. So for that reason, I'd say this game is very well coded in general, with the levels and the sprites and the enemies and everything, although it could be quite unforgiving in certain places and requires the player to be very dexterous and have a good memory of the levels. So let's get through. This is the exit, and check out the fourth level on this second world. So in this world, if the player hits the torches there, they will find the coins caches, and the door is locked, so I will need to trigger the first door straight away. There'll be many doors to unlock on this section, as you can imagine, and certain enemies like these knights can't even be killed. So the player will have to watch out right from the beginning, looking at these spikes on the roof as well, and those enemies waiting to kill you. It's always best to avoid those. And so this level is not only large, but it also gives you several arrows which can help and hinder the player. Sometimes they'll help you avoid spikes, sometimes they will help you avoid fiery pits of death, and sometimes, on rare occasions, they will actually send you into spikes or death itself. And some rooms aren't even easy to get out of. So watch out when you're going for those bonuses, particularly on levels like these. So what else can I say about Superfrog? It was released in '93. It was coded by Andreas Tardis, who also coded the Alien Breed series. And the graphics, these wonderful graphics, have been lovingly drawn by Rico Holmes, who did all Team 17 graphics. throughout their history on the Amiga. And additional graphics by Eric Schwartz. Originally, this game came on 3 discs. The first disc was an introduction animation by Eric. A unique feature of this game. Many people will remember Eric Schwartz for his technical animation skills in the PD realm, and I myself certainly bought a number of the Eric Schwartz cartoons from various PD libraries, including Quality Time and ones featuring Amy the Squirrel and Flip the Frog. And this character is loosely based on the Flip the Frog character, as fans of the series may appreciate. So the first disc showed the animation by Eric, which showed the frog losing the princess and having the princess stolen by the Wicked Witch. On the CD32 version, the game came with the intro built in, so the player could watch that without obviously swapping discs. But there was no graphical update in the CD32, it was just the basic OCS version with the intro bolted on. But really good to see participation by Eric Schwartz, what a legend. And of course the third legend on the list has to be Alistair Brimble, who did the music to Superfrog, and the music is tremendous throughout. The music changes throughout the different levels, and there's even a special Project X remix on the bonus stage called Project F, where Superfrog gets to pilot himself through space in the bonus section, which we'll not get to see in this playthrough guide. Unfortunately, that's level 6, and we will not get to play through that level, even playing through these levels at this speed. But Project F is definitely there, and obviously Alistair Brimble did the original Project X music as well, so nice homage to himself, I thought. And so this is just about the end of the castle levels, and you've seen everything more or less. So let's try and find the exit there and uncover the next world, which takes us to the circus, but not before finding those last hidden coins. Always worth the time and the trouble to pick those up. So here we are on the first circus stage, the easy level, and here water jets will propel us high into the sky, fish will try and chomp our rear, and you will find turtles with spikes which cannot be killed. Those are the important elements to remember. This suction pipe will also take us to a different section of the game, should we be able to switch on with that lever, and as we shall see later on, those suction pipes can be a help and a hindrance to the player by taking them all over the map. So let's get in there and find where we are. Well, we are all the way back at the start, so let's try that again. You'll find ice as well on this level, and that opens the door to the ice worlds later on, which we may see if we get to play on that far. And obviously ice and frogs do not mix. Frogs tend to be slippery and fall off ice. So that's the easy first level over with already. Let's get on to the second one. The variety of bonuses don't change, neither do the pickups, which is a shame, really. I suppose if I were to level criticisms at this game, it could have done with slightly more variety, perhaps. The levels are well coded in general, the graphics are really well drawn, particularly even down to the party streamers there on this level, very colourful, and obviously the game runs fast enough. just as fast as Sonic. In fact, even though this game was released in '93, 2 whole years after Sonic, they were still touting this as the Sonic beater on the Amiga, which, I don't know, maybe it is and maybe it isn't. Sonic has many good things going for it, including looping loops and things like that, and Tearaway Thomas is closer to Sonic in that respect, but Superfrog has certainly got the style and a certain amount of charisma. Maybe not as much charm as Sonic, but on the Amiga this really was considered as a mascot for a period, and maybe may have been an unofficial mascot. Of course, the Amiga mascots were the Lemmings originally, and to a certain degree the Zool character later on, and the Trolls as well were an Amiga mascot, so much so that they sold the Trolls with the Amiga box, and that sold a number of AJ machines. Some players think Superfrog is rather hard and unfair. Some players think Superfrog is rather unchallenging and quite a pushover, and the rest of them simply feel that Superfrog is rather immature and childish. Well, maybe the difficulty factor could have been improved. Maybe those criticisms are well founded, but generally, apart from maybe the lack of extra lives, which if you only select 3 lives at the beginning makes the game really, really, really hard, the extra lives aspect is the only thing that I could find really to criticise about the logistics of this game. Other than that, the game relies on the player's skills, and if you haven't got them, you'd better find them, otherwise you will find this game difficult. And yes, the game could have been even more cutesy, and the game could have been even easier, but I think the programmers have done a generally good job balancing all the various aspects to offer the player an ever-increasing challenge from the get-go. So here am I on the 3rd of the circus levels, desperately trying to avoid those guys. Because I started with 7 lives originally, I've still got all those lives I started with. As I say, I've only picked up maybe 2 or 3 extra lives as the game has progressed, or I've only found that number by discovering those hidden areas. Maybe there are more, I don't know. But with 7 lives, that really does give the player a good heads up, and they should be able to get quite far on these levels, even with these spikes and all these swinging hazards of death. Oh, there you go. Only the spikes of on the floor really should be avoided because they're instant death, and obviously you should avoid those. So these disappearing levels then, I'm trying to jump on top of that lazy bird there to get into that hidden section, but I can't seem to manage it. Sometimes you can jump on top of items, but I'm not being able to make it, and it's killed me again. So how do you get rid of that thing? I've no idea. Maybe fire the spud in its general direction. I'll have to try that. And duck underneath those things. If at first you can't get over those by jumping on the heads, then just wait for them to drop down, and otherwise avoid them. You do get time on this game. There is a time limit. Unfortunately, you can't really see on this play guide. The screen ripper is unfortunately chopped off the first 5 pixels on that screen. No idea why it did that, but there is a time limit. It's usually quite long, and the player really does have to mess around if they want to. There you go. That's got rid of it. They have to dally if they want to run out of time. So usually the time limit is pretty adequate. Oh dear, he died on those spikes. And it can be frustrating having to go back to the same points when you don't really know where you're going. So around the spinning object again. And on levels like these, it really does pay to memorise the level because it isn't obvious which way to go. The player thinks it's in this direction, and having looped the loop all the way back to the beginning, I'm hoping and praying it's this direction, with 2 coins remaining. But what I've actually found is I've actually literally gone all the way back to the beginning, and what I thought was the exit gate was actually the entrance, which sent me all the way back to the restart. So on this level, it's important to get across to these guns. There are 2 guns firing left and right, and that marks the exit to the level. If we continue to the left here, we'll find the last switch and the last set of bonus coins, which will unlock the exit. And once you get onto this screen and the snake, we will have to jump through there, and that reveals the very last section and the exit gate, which we've been looking all over this level for. And now that we've collected all the coins, it shouldn't be too hard to find it. Avoid that suction trap, because that will send you all the way back to near the beginning of the level once again, and just get out of there. It wasn't easy finding that exit on that level. The player has to watch out for the snake and jump through that gap. So this is the 4th level, the circus world, and yet again we will have to navigate the same stretch of level many different times. This may seem a cop-out in programming circumstances to have the player looping the same level all over again, but it means even quite small and intricate level maps can be reused over and over as they send the player around again. And you might notice there are round areas in the background there. There are switches, you might think, but they are actually, that's where the coins caches are. So if you see me hitting those switches, that's a bonus life, excellent. That will be for a coin cache, and all the way back again. So on each one of these sections we will hopefully find a switch which will help us get to the next section. So instead of going right here, which leads to a loop-the-loop dead end, we will try and go left and drop down into this section here. And if we flick that switch, that's the switch that we needed to, well, that isn't really helpful. That's the switch we needed. Once we get past this puzzle here on this screen, you can go around and clamp on the disappearing platforms to get to this section, but I find if you fly there from that particular point, sometimes you can make it and collect all the coins there. Those disappearing platforms are the ones we need to climb, but once you disappear and fall down there, there is no way out, so you will have to use your flying skills, like I'm trying to do, if you want to get back to that section, unless you want to go all the way around again, which is boring and annoying. So we finally made it. Let's collect those coins, and the sheer number of coins there reveals the fact that we needed to get to this section for whatever reason, mainly to collect those 40 odd coins that we needed. Avoid those sparks there, that's of paramount importance. And before you know it, you'll be all the way down to 26 coins, and we are now most of the way towards the exit of the level. Just flick that switch there. So apparently there was a PC conversion of this game. I haven't seen it, but apparently it is out there. And along with the CD32 version, that makes 3 different versions of this same game. There were no sequels, there were no ports to any other machines, unfortunately. This is almost an Amiga exclusive product, and it certainly was when it came out at the time. And the programmers have taken this into account and have polished the game as much as they probably could have done. Even these fish designs on the wooden panelling you see in the background just shows the level of detail the coder and the graphics artist, Rico, did on this game. There's the exit. So I better get to the exit. There's a big flashing exit sign to make sure we know that we've managed to find it in this maze. So let's get out of here. So here we are, this is the 4th world in the game, and this is the last world we will be covering in this playthrough guide. As I say, there are 7 worlds in the game. The forest, the castle, the fun fair, the Egyptian level, which is the one you see now. There is also an Arctic level, and after that there is the special Project F, which is in space, and then you will find another 4 bonus levels on the moon, which makes 7 worlds in total. And on the... just died there. On this section you will find many more pits of death and things which will kill you to death. But luckily for us, as I said before, the first level of each world is usually a breeze, and even while I've been talking I've managed to complete it. So just a note there to say I'm now on my last life. So this level, these series of levels will be ultimately the death of me unless I can find any more lives. The game may reward the player an extra life if they get to a certain score. You probably can't see there that I'm now over 1 million points in this game. The maximum you can probably gain in this game is, well, quite a number of million points. If you hit the ×2 in the gambling section of the bonus there between each levels, then you can probably ×2 the level score up to about 20 million. But an average score of about 4 million is pretty damn good on this game. Any more than 4 million, maybe 5 million, you know, depending on whether you use the slot machines, is generally good play. So hit the shields there on this particular level to reveal the bonus coins. As I said, there's always one object that reveals those, and still all clinging on desperately to this last life. It's helpful to use the wings as well. Sometimes if you've got auto fire, you can use the spud even with auto fire, and pressing the fire button uses the wings, which makes flying a doddle and a dream in this game. It isn't always necessary to do that, but it helps, believe you me. And pick up the extra Lucasade wherever possible. Let's get the invulnerability and see if we can get on to the next section. There is me trying to kill bats, and that can lead to instant death if I'm not particularly careful. So what have we got on here then? Not much in the way of various traps or various enemies, but the maze level of this design, it's just incredible. The spears there are worth timing to get over, and look at this, all these to get over these spikes. So the player really has to be dexterous. If they hit any of these enemies, they will get onto those spikes and die, and since I'm on the last life anyway, that's not recommended. And carry on hitting the switches there. You might notice a certain firepower coming out of the eyes of Horuses there on the wall, and these mummies as well. You can't kill them, you can't jump over them, you can't do anything, so best avoided. The worms aren't deadly, those are pretty easy, and so you'll find the number of items that will kill you on these levels have increased, including these spikes. But as we're really lucky there, as I say, it's only the spikes at the bottom that cause the instant death. And oh, look at that, I found what looks like the exit and a bonus, but let's skip on through that. This is the 3rd level in the Egyptian world, and it's comparatively easy as long as the player manages to time their way through the level. Unlike the previous one, they will find Lucasade aplenty on this level, unlike the next one. So that's moving through the level now pretty quickly. So, is this game the best platformer on the Amiga? Well, probably not. Is this the fastest platformer on the Amiga? No, probably not. Is this the most favourite platformer on the Amiga? Well, you know, probably not. There are always better platformers on the Amiga, and there are always many more fans of other platformers, such as First Samurai, Robocod, let's not forget Flashback and Another World, graphics adventures like that, and even games like Rough and Tumble and Your Jaw as well have all got their graphical merits and have their dedicated platform fans. Is this as good as Sonic? Well, I don't think so. It was a valiant attempt, perhaps, on the Amiga, and it's certainly slick and smooth, running at 50 frames per second constantly. I know certain platform perfectionados swear by the fact that 50 frames per second, no less, is the key to the smoothest platformers. But regardless of any of that, it's certainly a solid game. There are no bugs in this game. There are no major criticisms I could level at this game which really spoil it and drag the thing down. Maybe there are too many levels for the casual player. It really does take time to complete these levels. 2 hours on the inside, maybe 3 hours on the outside, which is certainly a length of time to sit and play through a game. But then when you imagine sitting and playing through a game such as Assassin's Creed for 3 hours, or Oblivion for 3 hours, then sitting and playing Superfrog for 3 hours for a game completion somehow suddenly doesn't seem so bad. There are bigger, much larger games out there for the modern consoles, which don't necessarily require the player to sit there and complete the game in one sitting, and for that reason Superfrog has given the player the password system, which is available on merit. As I say, if the player manages to gamble those and find those passwords, that will help the player get through to the next level, to play or practice the next level, which can be helpful. But on the other hand, the player can always use save states on the emulators to save their progress, which will memorise the scores and enable further progress. So yeah, it's not really a firm favourite of mine, this game. It's not a game that I would load up specifically to relive those old time memories. It is tricky. I mean, look at this section. I have to remove the bat to avoid falling on the spikes, but I cannot remove the bat before the platform disappears, so I have to basically tempt fate by getting in there from the leap and doing it that way. So the level design isn't very tricky to memorise, which is good. There's nothing worse than a game which is too big for its own boots and you can't memorise the damn thing. So there's nothing worse than a game that doesn't give you these invulnerability pills every now and again and instant health top-ups every now and again to keep maintaining those lives. And I've managed to pick up a few extra lives. I was on 1 and I'm now up to, well, 4, including this one. That's closed. I better find the switch for that. So it is possible to build those lives up on the later levels. As I say, starting from 3 levels, the game really isn't ready to award player extra lives at the beginning, and they really have to earn it by continuing to play through the game until the end. There is a high score table, and on the WHD load version that will memorise the player's high scores for competitive play, and which is always nice. And of course there aren't infinite continues on this. Once you die, that's it. You just get the lives to be going on with, which is good. It means the player isn't endlessly struggling, getting more bored, trying to get through levels with increasing difficulty. Sometimes it's best to call it quits and come back to the game afresh, and particularly when they get up to this stage, when their skills are already stretched, trying to avoid all these spikes and enemies at high speed in this game. Look at that, another door and another switch to find. Let's backtrack and see if we can find it. So there are many things to like about this game and many things to admire about this game, and as I say, it's not one of my favourite games, but I believe the coders have certainly done a good job. So this is the final level I will show you. We've managed to find a switch. So that opens this section, and fire up there to get rid of the bats. It's important not to jump up there at the same time or the player will get into trouble. And again, it's important not to go too quickly. I seem to have done a Superman dive onto those spikes there. Get the spud back again. It's important not to go too quickly, otherwise it's instant death, and at this stage we really don't need that. That wipes our energy down. So let's try and clear a few of these bats. The exit must be around this place somewhere. We're down to 32 coins to find. Avoid all the spikes, get the energy, and avoid the spikes and get the coin. So as I said, the exit must not be too far away from here. If I can just trust my skills to get me there. Nice invulnerability. Again, when it counts, the game gives you those it gives you those advantages at certain points. Of course, if you die and you lose those advantages, then that's it. So over the pit of death. What is the down here, I wonder? Well, it's best not to find out in this game. I presume this is the way to go. It's been quite a while since I've played this, and another switch will definitely need that. And then we'll go down here. Luckily there's a platform to get us back, and died. We're down to 8 coins, so this must be the final exit. If we can just make it. Oh, what a shame. That must have been the final exit. 7 coins to find, and that was the final level on the final world of the Egyptian level, and then we go on to the ice. But miraculously, that was a new high score, 2.3 million from me with those amount of lives. So thank you for watching the first 16 level playthrough of Superfrog on the Amiga. Hope to see you again soon. Cheers.